Hi everyone, today we're going to be colouring this little lovely floral group from Johanna Basford's Flourish. I'm going to start off doing the leaves. I'm rather keen on leaves, so we're going to do those first. Now I'm going to be using my Staedtler Ergosoft Pencils and I'm going to start off with number 52. Now I'm going to do all of the leaves very similarly I should say, and I'm going to just start off with this darker colour just towards the this part of the leaf where there might be some shadow from the flowers. I'm going to put this darker area and then I'm going to do a lighter tone on the tips of the leaves. So I'm going over more layers, pressing a little harder along the edge here and then colouring more gently towards the tip of the leaf. And as I say, I'm going to do all of the leaves in the same way. I want some consistency in the leaves, partly because I really like this colour combination and also just because I think it just looks a little bit better and gives some more balance to the picture, because my idea is to do these the flowers a little bit different to each other. I'm still deciding what sort of colour to do. I'm thinking about what colour flowers I've done lately and what I can do that's a little bit different maybe. I haven't done any purple for a while. That could be an interesting one. I do sometimes find purples a little bit difficult to work with. I find that they can go muddy when you blend them, or they can just look a little bit grey and cold, but maybe that might be a good one to try. See if we can get it to work nicely. With the Ergosofts, it's not, I don't find it so much of a problem, to be honest. It's when I've got quite a range of different purples, maybe like I do in my polychromos, I find them a bit trickier. But it depends also on the shade. If it's a nice pinky purple, it's very pretty, but the more grey purples, bluey purples, I find them trickier. So there we go, I finished those, and I'm going to do the ends of the leaves. In this one, this is the number 50. I'm not sure how clear that is, but and what I'm going to do is the opposite with this as I did with the other colour. So start off darker on the tip of the leaf and then reduce the pressure towards the centre, so we blend it into the green that's there already. And you can go right down over the whole lot or just down to where the colours meet. I'm not covering the whole of the green because I want it to look a lot darker towards this part, and if I colour over it with this lighter colour it will lighten it. So just working our way along. I haven't sharpened my pencils today, so I'm hoping they're still sharp from last time. Sometimes the ends snap off, but I can cope with that. Now the reason I do all the leaves at once is so that I remember how I did them. If I do one and then go and do a few flowers and come back, I've got no recollection of what I did with the leaf. So then I can't make it look the same. So I find it easier to do it this way. Sometimes I'll do one whole leaf and then I'll do each of the others just bit by bit. And now we've got these little bits here of stem. I'm going to do these in the lighter colour, I think. And we'll see how that looks when we finish the flowers and decide whether to make it a little bit darker. So there's the leaves done, and as I say, I'm going to do purples. Now in this set of 36, I've got the dark purple number 6, which always looks blue in my camera, and number 62, which is the lighter one. I'm going to use a combination of these two. I'm not going to do the centre yet. I'm just going to do the actual petals. And I'm thinking about the colours, and I'm thinking in this little set here are slightly raised, so they would probably catch the light more. So I'm going to use the lighter purple for those. So I'm going to actually start with this set on the bottom. And what I'm going to do is my usual trick of pressing a bit harder where the petals meet together to show some shadow, and then releasing the pressure towards the end to make it lighter. and I want to try and make each petal look fairly even compared to the other, but I'm not going to be ultra fussy. It's you know, nature doesn't always look perfect. I'm finding it a bit dark in here. I'm hoping the camera's adjusting for the light. I did try putting my lamp on and it seemed to make the picture go a weird colour, so I thought it was better. And I had lots of shadowing from my tripod, so I left the lamp off. I'm hoping you can see. It's quite sunny outside, but it still seems dark in here. My desk is quite far away from the window. So I hope you're keeping up with what I'm doing. So it's just exactly the same on every petal. So darker here, a few more layers, and then lighter out towards the end, and trying to just keep it blended through. And that's something that probably takes practice. I've been colouring since 2013, quite a long time. So I've been doing this for a long old while and practicing this technique. And we're nearly done. Now the ones either side, I am going to do purple as well, but I'm going to do them in a sort of slightly different way so they don't look identical to this middle one. So here's our last one. And then I sort of lean back and have a look and think, look, this one looks a bit too pale. So we'll just go over that one a little bit, and this one, and just sort of add a few touches. I find it's very easy to get very focused in on the, I'm moving on to the number 62. It's very easy to get very focused in on what the little bit that you're doing, and then not notice the impact that's having on the picture as a whole. And actually I find sometimes I finish, I get up to sort of go off to bed or whatever, and I stand up and step away from my desk and I see what I've been doing from a completely different sort of perspective almost, and I can sort of think, crikey, that side is uneven with colour or something, or wow, that looks better than I thought it did, and things like that. So it is worth spending time to just sit back, take your pencil away and sort of observe what you've done, especially when you're doing a bigger picture. These are obviously quite small, so you don't really lose focus too much. But when you're doing a whole page or a double page and you've got a lot to think about, so every so often just step back, have a look, or just sit back. So that's that. And I didn't talk you through my technique because I was waffling on, but I did it in exactly the same way. It just isn't quite so obvious with the lighter colour. Now with these, I'm going to use a combination of both colours. So I'm going to go back to my darker purple, which is the number 6, and I'm going to do this, the middle part with this, and then the edge with the lighter ones. So this technique is the same as I used on the other one. So more pressure there, but I'm going to stop. I'm not going to go all the way to the edge, do you see? And I'm going to do the same with all of these petals. And I'm going to make the flowers symmetrical. Although the leaves aren't symmetrical, I'm going to do the flowers symmetrical. And in fact the petals aren't. There are different amounts of petals on each of the two, but that's okay. They can still be the same colour. So that was a bit quicker because we're not going all the way to the edge. I'll do the same on this side. And while I'm doing this, I'm thinking about the centre of the flower. Now, purple I find is quite a cold colour. So I'm thinking, do I do a warm colour centre and bring in some yellow, which is the sort of way I'm always tempted to just go for a yellow flower centre. You know, it sort of feels like the obvious choice. I'm not sure how that doesn't look very well blended, but I'm gonna go in with the lighter colour and see how it works. And with the lighter one, I'm going to start just where we start getting lighter, press quite hard, and then get lighter towards the edge. So start here, press hard, and then reduce the pressure now as you get towards across the edge. Anyway, so yes, I'm always tempted to go for a yellow flower middle, but I think we'll do something different today. Just to show you something a bit different. I think I did yellow flower middles, yeah, on a lot of the other flowers on this page I've done yellow. So we'll do something else. Yeah, as I say, I find purples can be quite a cold colour, so it's nice to brighten up with some yellow, but we're not. So here we go. I think that's blended up pretty well. I'm just going to sit back and have a quick look. I missed that one out. There we go. I'm happy with that. And the centres. So I'm going to use a combination of 3 colours for the centres. And I'm going to use my black, which is 9, my dark grey, which is 8, and the lighter grey, which is 80. I'm going to start with the black, and I'm going to make the darkest part. I have to decide. I usually do it on one side rather than on the bottom. I'm on this side. So I'm going to start off with quite a dark black layer, and I'm colouring in little circles, see, and then I'm lightening up as I come towards the centre of the flower, and I want to fade this black right out. There we go. I'm going to do this, oh, snap my pencil, the same on this side. So starting off really dark here, and then reducing that pressure to come towards the middle and really fading it out across here. And I can't really see the edge of my flower there, it's so dark in here. And the same on this one. So dark here and lighter towards the centre, and just fade it out. And then I'm going to take my next darkest shade, which is the number 8. I can't see that in the camera. And I'm going to go over the top of what I've done completely, because I don't think it blended very well. As I say, I can't really see what I'm doing. And make it lighter again. And this time I'm taking the colour right to the edge of the flower. Sorry, the flower centre. And the same again here. So lots of pressure here and layers, and then less layers and less pressure here towards the middle, and then really reduce it down as we go towards the edge. And exactly the same here. So I'm trying to make sure that I cover every bit with a little bit of grey, but not too dark. And I'm going to use this light grey, number 80, to just blend it all together. So I'm going to go back over again, but I'm going to use a sort of fairly even across all of it until I get to this edge, and I don't want too much. I still want that contrast between light and dark. You can see I'm just trying to blend it all together. And there we go. Same with this one. And what I'm going to do is a few finishing touches with a white gel pen. I use my Sakura Jelly Roll, and I'm going to firstly do a little bit of reflected light on the edge of the, where it's the darkest. It has the biggest impact, I find, if you put it on really dark, you see. And then I'm going to put a little bit of white on these dark petals here, and I'm going to just, what shall I do? I do a few dots up the middle. I find sometimes just adding a few white dots can be a lot of fun, and it can just add some interest to the picture as well. And you don't have to use white, of course, any sort of colour pen. Obviously this is quite dark, so some colours wouldn't stand out. And I'm going to do, on these petals there's a little line that Johanna's drawn, so I'm just going to go over that in white. So yeah, you could use other colours. You could use a darker colour on here on top of this slightly lighter purpley colour. But and there are some people that do an almost pointillism effect with lots of little dots of the same colour that they've been colouring in. I haven't got the patience for that, I have to admit. So there we go. I'm not going to put any dots on the leaves or go over the lines on the leaves. I want the flowers to jump out a little bit from the leaves, but you could certainly do that if you wanted to. But there we go, there's a few little different things for you, so I hope that was quite interesting. And thank you very much for watching, and happy colouring.